a lot of our brides-to-be are wanting to do a deep dive into a few topics. Of course, it is makeup and hair. Started in 1999. Can you imagine the experience she carries? We have with us Bianca Louzado.
I would always find myself running into makeup stores or doing somebody's makeup, like my colleague's makeup on board. After Priyanka, it was Sachin, Tendulkar, and there was a lot of other, Bollywood stars and a lot of film offers. And
How do you schedule your calendar? How do you make sure you pick up your bride?
So I'm like a mini pundit. Knowing Muhurat dates is something that I know. If you're making a commitment to a bride, you need to stick by that commitment. And girls as young as 16 or 18 know their makeup products. Just as much as we do a bridal makeup, there's also makeup for the groom. Experience is all. Yes, experience is very important.
True. People feel our industry is all about glamour, money, fun. It's not. It's so tough. Welcome to the Wedding Podcast. It's been great to get the response and feedback that we've been getting for all our earlier episodes. It's overwhelming, it's encouraging, and I feel what we've gathered in all the feedback that's come is that a lot of our brides-to-be are wanting to do a deep dive into a few topics. And that's why we've come up with the Insider series, where we are going to be talking in depth about a few topics. No guesses for sure, no prices for what the brides want to hear first. Of course, it is makeup and hair. I mean, the amount of messages that we've been getting to talk about this topic in depth and deep dive into this has been really something where we decided that we have to do this on a very, very, very serious note. And then we thought, who do we get for this? Because there's so many of my industry friends who do fantastically well. But there's this one name that came to my mind because she's been a sweetheart. She's always been available, very comforting to the brides, flexible in her approach. This is her personality. In terms of her work, started in 1999. So can you imagine the experience, the plethora of experience she carries? I'm going to let her talk about her journey, but we have with us Bianca Louzado.
Thank you. Aarti, first of all, congratulations on something so fantastic. It's been overdue, I think, for viewers and people to actually know Indian vendors, because there are so many choices out there.
True.
And honestly, you're bringing in, I think, without being boastful, you're bringing in the cream for viewers to actually see and experience. And like you said, it's an insider episode. So they go in depth.
Yes.
And I'm sure that, whatever questions that you might have for me will definitely be useful to all of the viewers watching today.
Yes, and Bianca, before we jump in and start discussing, I want you to tell about your journey a little.
Like you said, I started off in 99, but I was in front of the camera in 99.
Oh, lovely.
And I was about 18 years old back then. So I was VJing with Channel V.
Okay.
And I had 3 of my own shows. There were awesome music shows where I took over, I don't know if you've heard of Sophia Haq. Yeah, so I took over Sophia Haq, and then I did 3 of my own shows with, Gaurav Kapoor and Purab Kohli and stuff. So it was modeling, VJing. I had this entire flair for travel, and which is when I decided to give up my TV bit.
Okay.
And I turned flight attendant.
You had a lot of experiences before jumping.
I did. In fact, makeup comes in as my 5th career. So it was like me double majoring with chemistry and food technology in the food industry, then to modeling, then as a VJ, then as a flight attendant, and I flew for about a decade. I would always find myself running into makeup stores or doing somebody's makeup, like my colleague's makeup on board, and they would be like, you're so good at makeup and stuff, why don't you pursue it? And in fact, my dad, he was one of the main influences with this particular career change, and I said, I'm so fed up of this flying career. It's not something that I want to do. There's something else that I think I'm meant for, but I can't put a finger on it. To which he said, I think you're fantastic at makeup and I think you should pursue it and you should
needed that push.
I needed that push for sure. And I was like,
somebody who believed
makeup. I said, with makeup, there are a lot of male makeup artists in the industry. And back then, women weren't allowed to be makeup artists. So, I said, I'm not going to be running after an actress. I don't want to do that. He said, but one day, you're probably going to be doing like big names like a Priyanka Chopra. And he legit said that. He said, Priyanka Chopra.
And I think you did Priyanka Chopra.
And 7 days after my father passed away, I did Priyanka Chopra. I got a call for Priyanka Chopra. So it was almost so surreal as, it was something that was
out in the universe.
It was speaking to me definitely for sure that this is a place that I needed to be. And I actually felt, after Priyanka, it was Sachin Tendulkar and there was a lot of other, Bollywood stars and a lot of film offers. And I was, actually wondering to myself, this is God speaking to me. This is the universe manifesting something that I've been anyways putting out, because I was asking for answers of what is my journey going to be.
Yeah.
So happened
and
with
no
makeup.
looking back after that at all.
No looking back, and I'm here to stay.
It's amazing. It's amazing. I mean, you've seen, of course, fashion is where makeup and, it's been there in the wedding space, but now the way the whole wedding industry has transformed, which you've seen over the years.
Absolutely.
And brides wanting the best artists to come for their weddings.
Yeah.
I'm sure you get called more than enough. How do you schedule your calendar? How do you make sure you pick up your brides? I mean, is there that it's only them coming to you and saying we want you, or you like to pick up your brides and choose them?
So, I'm a Catholic, so we don't have any dates when we get married, right? But in the Hindu community, there are Muhurat dates. And so I'm like a mini Pandit who knows, and I'm sure you do too,
we keep
because
those
we know
calendars
Muhurat
ready.
dates. So if I get a call and they say 4th, 5th, 6th December, and I'm like, oh, those are peak Muhurat dates. We know our Muhurat dates.
Yeah.
So number one is knowing Muhurat dates is something that I know. And then I know the trend of, calls coming in, at what stage they would come in. So literally all of the Muhurat dates just get booked out and then there's just no scope. But we have a team. We have a lot of artists in our team. We have makeup and hair artists in our team. And so we do offer, brides, the close family, the core family, the bride's family, as well as the groom's family. So we do a very good package deal and stuff for them.
Lovely.
So that's how we also schedule it. But I'm not only a bridal makeup artist. I still do celebrity makeup, and it's been over a decade since I've been doing makeup and hair for Femina Miss India and Miss India Universe. So it's my time that I have to really juggle between all of this.
I hope you make some time for yourself and your holidays.
Oh yeah, absolutely did. Just got back from one, so
But coming to the Muhurat dates, very interestingly what you said, and being a planner, I often tell my brides when they come to me, what all have you booked? And the first two names that come up is definitely the makeup artist that they booked already and the DJ.
Oh yeah.
So yeah, these two are very important for them to get out of the way. Talking of brides, everybody is so knowledgeable today with makeup, and they do their own stuff, and do they come to you saying these are the products that we want? How do you accommodate something like that?
I would say it's a small section, but it's increasing now, wherein a lot of brides will call and say, I need to use vegan products. What are the vegan brands that you use? And so, of course, earlier we wouldn't think of all of that, but there are a lot of inclusions of like vegan products and cruelty-free, etc., etc. I do have a list pre-made because there are a lot of people who will ask me, are you using vegan brands? And I send those brands because there are a lot of brands that are vegan brands. So I send them. So that's number one. And today, with everybody being so world-traveled and girls as young as 16 or 18 know their makeup products.
That's true.
I know, my niece and stuff, she'll send me these reels of new release products and stuff. And she's 14. So I know that young girls today are much more aware of the brands out there. They want their dewy makeup on fleek. They know their new release palettes and foundations. So people are aware, and people will definitely ask you what products you're using.
Yes.
So again, I have a list of products made and I send it out to the client saying, this is the stuff I use. And then they're in a comfortable position, because I will say that blatantly, and I'm very proud to say that I don't use any mediocre brands and I don't use any high street brands. There are all premium brands in our kit. In fact, there are certain products that get sent, as a lot of PR stuff. I can't have those on my table. Because the minute I use a particular brand, I can't. Basically, I can't
be quality conscious.
You have to be.
This is the most important thing.
Absolutely.
I mean, I think that's probably one of the reasons why you have a great repeat clientele. I know some of my clients who call me and say, it's just Bianca that we want, and they call you, there's pressures on you, and then there's pressures on me. That's been a pretty regular feature. Brides today, in terms of trials, are they want trials, and I somehow feel it's important to do that. But I also know artists don't prefer to do trials. Is it just because of lack of time, or you feel it's just not needed?
So back in the day, when I just started out, I felt that I needed to do trials. And I used to do trials back in the day when I just started. And I must have done about 5 trials in all my life. And, there is a certain time when I am good, I am excellent, I know my skin work. I know my skin works so well.
Yeah.
I know I'm going to nail it.
Yeah.
So again, like I keep saying, and I'm going to always say this, I don't want to just say this about myself, but I know I am going to make a client happy. I know I'm going to nail that skin work. I know she's going to be happy with her makeup, with her hair, with her draping. And hence, when you're doing a trial, the bride comes in, she's wearing a t-shirt.
Yeah.
You don't have the ambience. You don't have your lehenga. You don't have your actual jewelry. You don't have those emotions that you're bringing with on that main day. And the bride comes in and says, okay, can we see something that we're going to do for my mehendi look? And we're trying something out or whatever. And I know, of course, she wants to just say, you have an excellent hair team.
Yeah.
Is your makeup, is your foundation matching and things like that? I know, for sure. But what happens is I mostly get booked by word of mouth as well. And what's very important is the list of like your clientele for all these years. Who's really booked you? Which families have booked you? What celebrity weddings have you done? So that holds in good stead for me. When I refuse a trial and I say, I'm so sorry, I won't do a trial, but I will schedule a Zoom meeting with you. I will look at all of your outfits, your mehendi, your sangeet, your wedding, your cocktail party, all of that. I'll take a look at you, your mom, your sister. There may have been calls that I have done for a maximum of 2.5 hours.
Wow.
But just talking about stuff that the bride likes, stuff the bride hates, references that she might have stored, for, knowing that there's her wedding, leading up to the wedding. Bianca, can we do this? So she sends me references. So we chat about all that. So for me, at this stage, I know that I don't do trials only because of the fact that I know on the main day, I will nail that kind of look. Now, for example, if the bride says, I want a messy braid for my mehendi look, and we're leading up to the messy braid, but we're just doing a beautiful textured curls for the bride. And she looks at me and she says, I love it. Can we just leave it like that?
You're probably making changes on this.
So we're making changes, and there are always changes. We're always discussing something else, which is a great guideline on a call. But on the main day, the ambience, sometimes a bride says, I don't want to tie my hair because she's so tired with her back-to-back events. And she says, can I just have an easy, breezy blowout?
Yeah.
That's what they say because they're so tired.
Yeah.
Or if there was something else planned for her after-party look, she says, can I just tie up my hair in a ponytail? I really want to enjoy myself. And it's about enjoying yourself as well. Not only that look, but of course, maintaining that look while you're dancing and stuff.
Yeah.
So it's a lot of back and forth. We ensure that we are putting a bride in a very comfortable space with her hair, her makeup. And I definitely don't want a bride to feel like, oh my God, I haven't done a trial. What's going to happen and stuff.
Yeah.
But the minute they sit in the chair and they have their hair and makeup done, they're like, Bianca, now I'm going to close my eyes and sleep, do whatever you want to do the rest of the events.
So there's so many newcomers today in our industry. It's encouraging to see the new talent that comes in. But they also have a very different approach. Do you recommend that the brides should do their trials with them?
I would actually say yes. Because of the fact that, experience is all.
Yes.
Experience is very important.
True.
And you're actually doing a bride's one and only main important day, and you definitely don't want to ruin it.
Yeah.
So if you are a newcomer and a beginner in the industry, I would say, a hair trial is also very important. I'll come to makeup, but hair trial is very important because in our industry, if you say, do you know Hollywood waves?
Yeah.
Yeah, we know Hollywood waves. Do you know beachy waves? They say, yeah, we know. Do you know soft curls, out curls, big glam curls? And, the artist will say, yeah, I know it. But then eventually they use just a similar one size of a tong and everything looks the same.
How
Every
interesting
single
is this?
hairstyle.
I didn't even know there were so many types of hair.
There are different types of curls. There are different, there's a classic Hollywood wave and there are beachy waves and, a lot of fashion hairs. There's so many different types of hairstyles. But artists may just say, just to obviously gain a client, they would say, yes, we know of everything. And on the actual day, when the bride says she's an international bride and she comes in from the US and she knows what beachy waves are because these guys know how to do really cool beachy waves. And they're like, these are not beachy waves. And so she's upset on her wedding day for her beach party and she wants a classic Hollywood look because she's got a great Gatsby night and she doesn't get her classic waves, which is one form. So knowing technique takes a while. You may be young, super young and know the technique and that's fantastic. But I would just say as a beginner, for a bride and stuff, she might want to be really confident if she's hiring somebody who's, in her early 20s and stuff or mid 20s, then definitely a trial is a must. Also with different skin tone, we have from the north to the south of India, to the east, to the west of India. And we have the East, which is, different shapes of eyes and stuff, different skin tones, different undertones. But there are brand new makeup artists whose makeup kits might not be fully equipped.
Yes.
And they may just be limited foundations, like tones. There may be just limited colors of concealers or lipsticks. Like when you say, let's just wear a nude lipstick.
Yeah.
A nude lipstick is not just one shade and that's it. That's labeled nude lipstick. If your color of nude is completely different from my color of nude to a little warmer color of nude and an even warmer or an even darker tone. So there are different shades of nude. So you can't just say, I'll just use a nude lipstick. You need to have those nudes according to this entire color palette.
Amazing.
From fair to a warmer shade. So I would say even with makeup, it's extremely important that you get the bride. I have a lot of white brides who say, Bianca, I really need a trial because I know I've heard of horror stories of people making them look brown or making them look yellow. And I'm a pink undertone because we're mostly olive undertone and a yellow undertone. Very, very less of pink undertone people, right? Very, very less. So, makeup artists might not necessarily have those kind of foundations or those foundation tones. So, I would definitely say that if you're a beginner and you just started out, not only for the bride, but for yourself as well, it's very important to do a trial to know for sure that you're making a bride happy on her happiest day.
Absolutely. You got to reach that stage where you can say no trials, I mean, you have to have that body of experience.
That is the reason why I say it so confidently, saying, I'm not going to be doing trials, not only for the fact that I'm super overconfident or stuff, but I know what I'm doing. I know my skincare routine. I know the foundations that I'm going to pick for you, and I don't just use just one foundation. I'm constantly mixing foundations for a particular skin tone, mixing concealers for a particular skin tone. So I know what I'm doing.
Also a word or piece of advice to all these new entrants in the industry. I'm talking the makeup artist. What are those few early mistakes that happen? I mean, not that one makes those deliberately, but happen that one could avoid by having a little more process-driven way of working.
Number one is there are so many makeup brands out there that range from high street makeup products that are just like, even their formulations are dangerous, but their colors and their packaging is so exciting that makeup artists just tend to buy stuff that looks exciting, but that might not be great for somebody's skin. And so many people have different allergies, like there is certain ingredients that might not suit everybody. So it's very important. People just also think that, let me just put in, whatever is available in the market, even if it's cheaper, and let me charge the client, an expensive, charge much higher. But it's very important for you to have a great kit, even if it's expensive. Your foundations are great, they're expensive. Your concealers, your contours, your eyeshadow palettes, latest release palettes, I'm definitely up to date with that. If there is some palette, like I just got back from Dubai like 2 days ago, and I was on the lookout for what's new, what's really new out there. And if it's released in some part of the world, I will make a call to somebody and say, I want that palette in my kit. I want to acquire it. And I will try it out. So it's very important that you don't only buy just cheap products and just fill up your kit. It's very important that you have good products in your kit, and that way you will also acquire better clients. And secondly, you mentioned what advice would I want to really give people. I'd really want to say, if you're making a commitment to a bride, you need to stick by that commitment.
True that,
If you've got a bride in Mumbai or Pune, but you've got a bride in the US, or it could be a really big name in the industry, you can't let go of this commitment that you have.
That's so important what you've said, Bianca, and that's something which unfortunately in our industry now is becoming a big issue, where a lot
of brides are very scared, they ask, I definitely give, they say, will you, we are booking you, we're going to be...
will you give me up for a big name?
They do ask, because, and that definitely also happens with bigger names, because they say, oh, you'll have a A-list actress, and they might. But that's what happens, because you get so excited, oh, I've got an actress to do, or I've got a bigger client to do, I've got a foreign destination to do. So I find that there are definitely, commitment issues happening where brides can just ditch a bride on her wedding day, and it's been happening so much. And they come and tell me and they say, Bianca, makeup artist didn't show up on time, or the makeup artist didn't show up at all, and that's just not done.
You're right, Bianca. It's happening a lot in our industry. I feel that's something where it makes brides even more anxious, and worried.
And you definitely don't want to do that to a bride on the most happiest day. She doesn't need to be anxious. She doesn't need to be worried. When she books you as her artist, it's plain and simple. You just need to give her that security and know for sure that she's going to be in a happy space. Let me tell you one thing that happened to me years ago in the year 2012. And my father passed away a day before New Year's. And on New Year's, I had two brides. And I give this example to when people ask me about, are you going to be there for sure on the wedding day? Are you sure you're going to be there? And on the 1st of Jan, I had two brides. I had a bride at 5 a.m. and I had a bride at 6 p.m. I did both my brides, and my dad's funeral was on the 2nd of Jan. But I still did not want to leave a bride just like that. And I didn't want to ditch a bride for sure. Who is she going to book last minute at 5 o'clock?
Yeah. So hats off. That's a great commitment, Bianca. I know it's so tough what you're saying.
And even with my team members, I know for sure that if there's somebody who's ill, or their family members who are ill, they will just there are so many troubles. Everybody as a team.
Yes.
There's a wedding going on one hand, and there are your troubles going on as well. It's, of course, these are tough times, and it's your heart that is grieving, and at the same time you need to make somebody happy, and there's this one time, so hence we leave all of that at home and ensure that a commitment is a commitment, and we keep up to that and ensure that we are there present on her wedding day.
So, oh my God, this is, it just makes me feel that people feel our industry is all about glamour, money, fun. It's not. It's so tough. Sometimes you're not well and you want to just
very tough.
Rest it out, but you have a commitment and you have to go and do it,
Talking about that, but it makes me, it's just because it's a show that you're doing, and it's you're asking me. And as a friend, I just tell you that when I'm having a random coffee, even if we were off camera, but recently this year, in the month of Feb, we had a very big wedding at Umaid Bhavan. And it was on her wedding day. It was her Fairas. And I had severe neck pain that I couldn't even stand. And I had to do makeup. My hand wouldn't come up.
Oh, God.
And I took an intramuscular injection. And I continued. went back to Bombay and found out that I had my third slim disc. After that, I did a 7-hour drive to Goa from Jodhpur, and you know the connection. There's no real connection unless you do those drives.
Yes.
So we did an 8-hour drive, I think, and I went on to do my other bride. So irrespective of like pains in your heart or your body or whatever, you still have to go on.
Commitment is a commitment, and I get what you're saying, and I think this is great examples you've given, and I hope all the newcomers who
they should definitely
taking a lesson out of this for sure, you know. Speaking of the new recommendations that also come for brides, I mean, also there's a lot of recommendation to use colored lenses. What's your take on it? Works, does not work, looks too gimmicky? How do you take it?
It's been 20 years since I've been married.
Yeah.
I wore lenses back then, and as a model, I used to use lenses as well. I thought I looked great. I did look great, actually.
You look great yet, Bianca.
Thank you. So there are certain brides who look fantastic with lenses and without lenses. There are certain brides who will tell me, Bianca, I don't want lenses. I don't want false lashes. I don't want hair extensions. And that's fine. And we can go ahead, do whatever. They don't want colored hair and stuff. But there is a certain section of people that want lenses. Now, the only thing I'll say is I see a lot of very garish lenses. There could be, I tell some brides, you're going to use lenses? Yeah, but I tell them I'm going to use beautiful lenses. You're definitely not going to look like an Ichhadari Nagin. I keep telling them that.
That's a good
so
one.
I have beautiful lenses and beautiful colors that I use.
Yeah.
So that enhances the skin tone of a bride, and she's very happy. And I always tell a bride, let me put the lenses. If you're unhappy at the end of the look, I'll take them off. Okay. And 100 out of 100% brides don't take their lenses off. And then they say, can we use it again? Can we use it again? Can we use it? So when they're just used to that, and they never knew how amazing they would look. And when you're in the right hands, you can take that chance.
True.
But I would definitely say not to go in for something that is too garish. For some people, a blue might suit them. A light green might suit you. A light grey might suit you. But sometimes you just don't need to put those colors just for the sake of using it.
You know, we keep talking about the brides, and when it's makeup and hair, we just keep talking of brides, and, you know, the brides are spoken of in this space. But interestingly, today, I think grooms are open to makeup, and the brides also want their grooms to look equally, you know, I would say their skin tone to be right, and, you know, great pictures to come. So what's that happens with the bridegroom makeups? Like, you know, are they going through these proper makeup sessions, or how do you work on that?
So, you know, earlier, back in the day, people would just stroll into the rooms, fathers or brothers would just stroll into the room and say, thoda touch up kar lo. And, you know, it's what I want people to understand, it's not a touch up, means touching up what already exists. So that means makeup hasn't been done. That means you want me to do your makeup, right? So just as much as we do a bridal makeup, there's also makeup for the groom. Now with guys, they have large open pores.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's not like, oh, men do makeup and it's something to be looked down upon, or, you know, a groom to feel shy about. He needs to look equally great, doesn't he?
Absolutely.
So now when we are on camera, and we have our makeup on, if I didn't have makeup on, my skin would just look a little more oily and stuff. Now, that's the same thing that's going to happen on your wedding day.
To a man.
To a man, in your like HD pictures and your videos and stuff. And the bride's looking all expensive and stuff. And the groom, not so great. But he can, absolutely, right? So the grooms listening to this need to know that you can and must do your makeup as well.
Yeah.
It's not only the skincare, as in you can put a sheet mask, you can put a lip mask, you can put lovely under eye patches for hydration because you've partied all night, and all of this is, you know, puffy and dark or whatever, for like sleepless nights and stuff. So skincare for a groom is very important. And then using foundations which are a little warmer than your original skin tone, so that you're not looking white, you know, on the camera. Like how, you know, for example, a bride wants to look bright, but a groom can't look bright and look like he's done any makeup. So it needs to look effortless, very natural, very skin finish, and like they say, a no makeup look. So when we do that for a groom, Now, even when we're talking about contouring, like when you're contouring a nose of a groom, it can look streamlined, you can have a nice cheekbones, you can have a great jawline, and there can be great structure. That's why when you see male models and you're like, oh my God, the guy looks so good on an ad or whatever, they have their makeup done. It's not that I'm going to make a six-pack for the groom.
Yeah.
But it's like the face needs to be surely done for sure.
Yeah.
And they can look and feel so much more confident with their hair and makeup done.
So today as a service, do you think all makeup teams have a team, or do you also offer this as a service for the bride?
In my team, of course, the lady hairstylist can do a groom's hair style, but I have male hairstylists that do it much better.
Sure.
So if in case a bride says, I need my groom's makeup to be done, then I'll need to hire the hairstylist, whereas the makeup, our team does.
Yeah, that's amazing. And it's something I think every groom should explore, because with everything moving and the way your pictures look, I think this is an important aspect to adapt to if you haven't thought of it. Coming back to the family, the rest of the family, Bianca, because there's always, of course, the mother of the bride, the mother of the groom, the sisters, the immediate family that also needs attention and makeup. So as a team, do you have a larger team, or there are other artists that people book out? What's the kind of trend going on that front?
So 90% of the time, we have a minimum booking requirement. So we do get booked out for brides plus at least a minimum of 2 people. Now that's typically a bride, mother and the sister.
Yeah.
So the bride is entirely done by me with her makeup as well as a hairstylist. So we take care of her so that we don't mix the hairstylist that does the bride with the mother and sister. Because in between events, the mother could come in late, the sister could come in late, the bride wants to rest, and then everyone comes in together. So we always separate the team, and we have a separate hair and makeup team for the mother and the sister.
Yeah.
So everybody is done in good timing, everybody's ready for family pictures together and ready on time. So we backtrack with the time. If she wants to be ready at 6, then we say let's start at 3. Of course, that's a luxury if we get 3 hours and stuff. But we make do with the 2 hours, and we have made, because of experience and skill, we make do with even 1 hour. But I don't want the brides to know that. We need our 3-hour buffer time.
These durations are so long, and poor brides have to go through this like twice a day, because usually there are 2 functions.
Yeah.
And getting ready for 2 hours, 2.5 hours, and then again for 2 hours.
So I always tell them there's 24 hours, right?
Yeah.
Out of the 24 hours, you want to sleep, for like maybe just 4 to 5 hours out of the 24 hours. Then you have 2 events. Then you have your makeup timing.
Yeah.
And you have, you need to keep maximum time to enjoy yourself at the wedding. Otherwise, the day is done.
Yeah.
Whereas today, I hear from a lot of brides, my makeup artist took 3 or 4 hours with me. And then there are 2 looks. So when is the bride actually going out?
Yeah.
So you need to be that skillful enough to just ensure that she's out for her pictures and out to enjoy her wedding. So,
and you have to give them that ease in that duration of those 2 hours.
Very much.
They have to not feel the pressure, and you're talking to them, making it easy for them. And, I know you're very interactive with your brides, and a lot of them are friends with you.
Oh, yes.
One tip on that to the newcomers.
So it's very important not to just finish your business, pack your bag and leave.
Yeah.
I am friends with my first ever bride to date, and I'm friends with all of them. I keep in touch. I'm wishing them for their anniversaries and their baby showers and babies' first birthdays, and we're in touch. And we're like clients turn friends into sometimes even family friends. Right? Today it's very important to make a bride feel very comfortable, at ease. Me and the entire team, we ensure that we have our speakers, whether it's the bride here or the bride's family, we have our music playing.
Lovely.
We have our sheet mask going on, and there's a bit of
friends
chit-chat and friends, and then we're, fooling around, and there are jokes happening and stuff and experiences. And they ask me about, have you had any fun experiences? And I'm relaying all of that and stuff. So,
you do so much celebrity makeup, Bianca, and our audience always is very keen to know what goes on with them, with the celebrity brides. So, who all have you done? And give us some story maybe that you can let out here.
So, we did it was in the midst of the pandemic, and we did the wedding of Jasprit Bumrah and his wife Sanjana Ganeshan. And also not very long ago, we did Randeep Hooda and his wife, Nilesh Ram. She's a beautiful girl. Also did Sania Mirza's sister a while ago.
And Sania Mirza on a regular basis.
Oh yes, it's been 13 years and counting with her. And again, a relationship that's stuck on for so long, mostly because we're now friends, over the years. So with celebrity makeup, of course, you have your wedding planner, you have your stylist, you have the photographer, and you have the makeup artist, like real main pillars of that celebrity wedding that's happening. And we're discussing with the stylist as to what look number 1, 2, 3, 4, because it's going to be out in the media.
Yes.
And you want to nail that look because it's going to be definitely a talked about look, or we
create a trend.
Or create a trend. That's what always happens. So with celebrity makeup, you need to actually think once, twice, thrice, and definitely do it right.
Yes.
But with my makeup, it's a very minimalistic approach.
Yeah.
My USP is a very skin finish luminous look. So whether you want it to be done for a mehendi look, or a sangeet, or a wedding, or a cocktail party, my skin is going to be, the skin of my bride is going to be absolutely impeccable. Of course, there will be tweaks done to the eyes and the lips, but I need her to look natural and beautiful. I want brides' pictures to look post-worthy, repost-worthy, and frame-worthy. I don't want them to make mistakes with their wedding look. So for sure, we think up of what look a celebrity or a bride, is that we need to nail that.
That's amazing. Bianca, this has been a great and insightful session. Thank you so much, because I think you explained every element so brilliantly well, which is great for new entrants, which is great for brides. And but we're not done yet. And to my audience, this is an absolute deep dive insider series, and Bianca has very graciously agreed to do a demonstration for us too. So everything that we spoke of, you can in real time see this, for every bride who wants to know a lot more that how does this actually happen. We're going to do a demonstration right now.
Now, my beautiful model Anushka, who is absolutely stunning, doesn't need very much, and I'm happy about that because she's already a great canvas for me. So let's begin with something that I always do now. All of our Indian brides use heavy jewelry, heavy earrings. So the first thing I do is use numbing cream, and I just put this numbing cream for her ears.
That's so thoughtful, yeah.
The ingredient is lidocaine, prilocaine, and in India you get an ointment called Prilox. So you can use Prilox on the ears, and then it just numbs the ears. A lot of my brides say, can you numb my feet? Can you numb my back? Can you numb this? And can you numb that? And they want numbing cream like literally all over. So anyway, so we're doing that. And before, of course, we're not showing this right now, but I use a sheet mask and I use these beautiful under eye patches. So the skin is very well hydrated and stuff. And we've also cleansed her skin. Now we already have the bride wearing her choli, and so we don't want to have any makeup or foundation, so we're just covering that bit. I love doing the eyes first because there's fallout that comes in from the eyes. I know there are a lot of people who also prefer doing the base and then the eyes, but the problem with that is there's a lot of fallout, and for bridal makeup we tend to use shimmers and certain glitters and stuff, and that's very tough to knock off from the face. So we just ensure that we do the eyes first. And now what I'm doing is a very nice light and soft smoke. So I'm creating an illusion on the eyes with this soft like taupe color. And while I'm doing that, Saloni is already prepping lashes for me. And with lashes, it's very important to not only stick the glue once, but stick your glue, wait, stick and wait, and for the third time stick and wait, so that it gets really nice and tacky, because your lashes have to last literally all through the night. So So we ensure that we really need to affix the lashes really very well. Extremely important right now because now you are also massaging the face, and there's a lot of usage of your hands because then you can have lymphatic drainage and stuff. So when you are massaging the face with your hands, then there's a lot of circulation which also helps the skin, and plus the bride feels more relaxed. And you can't be just having your lunch and then coming directly with your fingers, smelly fingers and stuff. Now that's what I did, because that's a perfume I usually carry and ensure that my wrists are always smelling good, right?
That's such amazing detailing you're talking of, and so important.
Bottle or a perfume bottle that we just put on our wrist. So we're always doing makeup so that there's, the hands always smell amazing. Night care that the brides should do is they can do a lot, but them doing it is a bit difficult because they're so exhausted at the end of it. So we take over the next day by putting a sheet mask all over the face and the under eye patches. And you must have seen brides dunking their face in a bowl of ice water. Now that's also fantastic. Of course, there are a lot of reviews, some reviews that say that it breaks the capillaries in the skin and stuff. But for people that feel comfortable in dunking their face in, it's fantastic because it constricts the pores on the skin, and the makeup really lasts longer. Now a lot of brides, they know this term, this word dewy, and they use it all the time, and they say, I want dewy makeup and stuff. So what one can do is, if you've booked a makeup artist and you still find that it's looking a bit unfinished and not dewy, you can always ask your makeup artist to mix a nice liquid illuminizer with your foundation and then put it all over your face.
Just for our audience, what is dewy makeup?
So dewy makeup there's a fine line between dewy and looking oily. There are certain points where you use highlighters, whereas the high points of your cheek, your nose, right here, and maybe the cupid's bow. But sometimes makeup artists can use it all over, with your highlighter, your powder highlighter especially, and just want to use a lot of highlighter, so that can make you look very oily. So you need to know the right points, key points as to where to use your highlighter. And so it's waterproof makeup, right? That's why we specialize in bridal makeup, because you want to ensure that the tears, when they fall down the face, rolling down the face, doesn't leave a mark. And it's just rolling down your face, and you can take any tissue paper and just dab it and it will still not leave a mark. The way I do my makeup is I ensure that everything is really nice and dewy and not super bright. I make the skin look sun-kissed because it looks fantastic in pictures. In the year 2020, when I was doing nothing at home like all of us, I launched my beauty brand, and it was something that I always wanted to do. So it was October of 2020 when I launched Code Beauty, and I launched, with cosmetic sanitizers. Just like we had hand sanitizers, you could spray cosmetic sanitizers on the actual product, because there's so much of cross-contamination.
Yeah, usually all these bigger stores, MAC and all, they all use it when you're trying makeup with them.
And, makeup artists can use this similar kind of makeup for different people, like the bride, the mother and stuff. So you always need to sanitize. When the pandemic died down, just like sanitizers became much lesser in use, we discontinued with the cosmetic sanitizers. But what we did, which is our best seller, is makeup brush cleansers. People used to just, wash their brushes with shampoos and soaps. And what I did was, manufacture a brush cleanser in an aluminum tin. And it's got activated charcoal and orange oil, aloe and cucumber, and a beautiful apple and cinnamon fragrance. So you can wash your brushes with that. And then we also have my double-sided brushes, which are made in Japan. They're Japanese. And this is a beautiful maple wood. So it's 5 brushes where you can do an entire face with just using 5 brushes.
It's so inspiring that you have a brand of your own, and I have heard of Code, and of course your brushes are so much spoken of. Do you think, not just for bridal, but otherwise also, when your brides experiences, then these brushes they can use on themselves? And
oh yeah, that's the reason why it's handy. It's not just for it's just 5 double-sided brushes, which means 10 sides for a full face of makeup. for just anybody. So when you look at those brushes, you actually know that you need to use, so this is like a master blender. You can use this for contouring, for, blending your foundation, your blush, everything. So it's called a master blender.
Talking of contouring, when you get to that point, I have a lot of questions for you. So let me know when you start that.
I think we're just going to start that in just a bit. So Saloni here knows exactly that even without talking to her, that I need a mix of this and a mix of that as soon as she, because that's the experience that you have when you see a skin tone. They're already mixing things and we're not talking to each other. So we play a game. I'm not going to talk to you. Give me the right product.
I was just thinking while you said this that it's like the perfect marriage I can see between Saloni and you. She just knows exactly what you want when.
Mind reader of sorts. But, that's what happens when people who assist in the team are good observers. And when you're a good observer, you're a good artist. So here's the most interesting part. And that's contouring. So I use my favorite contour stick. And I'm going to make these markings.
Contouring is a term since, I heard it much later in life. But it's as if brides or anybody thinks there's magic gonna happen on you.
Oh, it's actually magic going to happen in you, and you can actually see her nose, contoured, her face more structured. In your pictures, you always look twice or thrice your size.
On camera. Yeah.
On camera. But when you're contoured, you are absolutely chiseled and it looks amazing. Yeah, so it's contoured and it's really beautifully structured.
Who started this, Bianca?
I think it really was huge. Back in the day, even before Kim Kardashian, in the Indian industry also, they used to call it cutting.
Okay.
They never would call it contouring. They used to call it cutting. I really don't know who started the contouring, and I should find out. Good question. But who made it really popular was Kim Kardashian. Yeah. The contour and the bakes under the eyes. So she really popularized that and it became a huge Instagram sensation.
Yeah, these are those very fashion terms. I have a 18-year-old who keeps telling me contour your face and I'm like, what's that?
I'm sure Anushka can tell a difference between 100%. The whole face structure this side.
100%. Do brides usually, Bianca, have this worry that, oh, this is going to look loud? Because I know makeup settles.
People or brides say, is it looking too much? So now what I do is, when you say that there's no makeup look, it doesn't mean that I put a tiny minuscule amount. The magic of a no makeup look, it's an art. It takes longer than regular makeup, just thepao makeup and stuff. And the art is the art of blending. So I'm putting this makeup and there are two textures I use. I'm using a liquid texture. I will powder it and I will use a powder textured blusher and I'll blend everything out. So what you see right now, which is looking patchy, will be completely flawless once I'm done.
While the brides are dancing at the Sangeet and then the makeup is, this touch-up thing, Bianca, how does this work? Do you all have somebody over there at the function area and you can quickly do it? How does this work?
So usually when we are booking a makeup, it's always a makeup touch-up and a hair change.
Yeah.
Because the makeup just needs to be touched up, but when it's going in from a fairas to an after party and stuff, you need to book a makeup touch-up and a hair change. So otherwise it's just one look, right? You just do your makeup, hair and a drape, but then what we do is add a touch-up. Okay. So we have our artists then who stay back and,
What's your favorite look, Bianca, when you do brides? One is, of course, you can do a multiple look thing. And I personally feel every bride should go through maybe 2 or 3 different looks within the same wedding, you know.
Oh yes, so one is of course this classic look of mine, look up, that can go, just about on any look. And the second look I like to do is a nice intense smoky eye, but not like too much. And of course even a nice cold rim eye, and I blend that out and with beautiful nude glossy lips. And the third look that I would really go for is something with shimmer and non-fallout glitter, like I call it, because it's very important not to use any cheap glitter brands that just fall on your face. So I use glitter brands that don't fall on your face at all, and that's very important, otherwise you can look like a nice shiny disco ball.
I think you've done this the quickest, and thank you so much for this. But I know usually you definitely need a lot more time.
A little more time would be nice, yeah, but it's just that since it's a quick demo.
Yeah. I hope you guys have enjoyed. It's been super informative, and it's absolutely a go-to episode for all our brides. If you've liked this, please do give us your thumbs up. Make sure you share this. Give us more feedback for future episodes. Do not forget to subscribe to the Wedding Podcast, and make sure you press that bell icon.